Alright, this video will focus on why Noah's flood tale couldn't have happened. A couple of key points. Animal care requirements and species distribution before and after the flood on Earth. Some parts of the Bible say the flood lasted for 150 days. Some say it lasted for a year. But for the sake of argument, we're going to say 100 days. We're going to focus on a couple of species in particular to illustrate the difference, the difficult feeding requirements the animals would need. Elephants and giant pandas are good examples. Elephants would eat at least 300 pounds in a day. That's 60,000 pounds in a 100-day period for a pair of elephants. And that's assuming there's only one species of elephant on the ark and not two. But really there are three species of elephant. You count the African forest elephant. Elephants would also drink 10,000 gallons of water over a 100-day period. Over a year period, it's more than 3 times that. So you obviously can't use the ocean as the source of water. You have to carry that water with you. And pandas eat at least 25 pounds of bamboo in a day. That's at least 5,000 pounds of bamboo for a pair in a 100-day period. A bamboo can only last for a couple weeks in a refrigerated environment. So how did Noah keep fresh bamboo for 100 days to a year? Another problem with the story is some species of animals simply can't survive in captivity even by modern standards. For example, indries, the lemurs, and the pangolins. Their dietary requirements and their levels of stress in captivity prevent them from thriving. So 100 days, probably not doable. A year, definitely not doable. Species distribution is a key hole in the flood story. How did the dodo come to live on the island of Mauritius? How did the Tasmanian devil come to live only on Tasmania? And there are thousands of examples of this. How did all the lemurs come to live on Madagascar? How did all the kiwis come to live on New Zealand? How did the giant tortoises come to live in the Galapagos? How did the Zanzibar leopard live in Zanzibar? How did the Bali tiger live in Bali? I could go on and on about that. Limited distributions aren't limited to small islands. You have river dolphins, like the Amazon river dolphin, the Ganges river dolphin, the Yangtze river dolphin, which is now extinct. How did they come to live in only 1 or 2 river systems after a global flood? It doesn't make any sense. How did most of the marsupials come to live in Australia? How did all the kangaroos live in Australia and nowhere else? And again, back to the ocean, how did the Kemp's-Ridley sea turtle and the flatback sea turtle come to live only in limited distributions and not globally, after a flood should have distributed them globally? The Kemp's-Ridley only lives around the Gulf of Mexico. The flatback sea turtle only lives around the northern Australian coast. So that doesn't make any sense if there was a global flood. Another example of a species that should have a wider distribution is the northern right whale, which only lives in the North Atlantic. There are hundreds, thousands of examples like this, and these are just a couple points. And anyway, that's the end of the video. So, like and subscribe.